This is Dan Dix here, reporting for Press for Truth once again on the Jeffrey Epstein case. In case you forget, this is the billionaire pedophile who ran a sex trafficking blackmailing ring. And you may be forgetting about this name because the mainstream media seems to be not reporting on this anymore. They think it's just a closed case. This man committed suicide while being put on suicide watch at one point in a high security facility. But nonetheless, they think it's a case closed matter. But a lot of us in the field of independent media don't believe that's the case, and we're still asking a lot of questions. There's some keyboard warriors out there and activists who are doing some decent work, but then there's some people who do boots on the ground work, people who actually took the initiative to go there. For the first time, any independent media has ever done this, and of course, I'm talking about my good friend who joins us on the line, Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change. wearechange.org is the website. Luke, man, I just finished watching your video. Amazing stuff. I want to get into why you thought it was important to do something like this in the first place. You know, why you would risk your life essentially to go there. But that, maybe you could tell us a little bit about how this opportunity even came up in the first place. How on earth did you manage to make your way to Jeffrey Epstein's island?
Well, if you look at the larger implications, especially how culpable people in our society are with the Jeffrey Epstein story, this is the story of the decade. This is an important story that needs our attention. It can't be swept under the rug, and we need more investigative journalism. And the only way to get it now is, of course, with independent media. The mainstream media that's being promoted by YouTube as we're being throttled, demoted, downranked, demonetized in the algorithm. This is the only hope we have to getting real issues with large implications out there. And this is the responsibility that you have, that I have, that Jeff Berwick and a lot of other people have that we're getting essentially screwed for. But we were in the Caribbean. And I remember receiving a lot of comments like, oh, Luke is just hanging out in the Caribbean. And I'm like, you guys don't understand the bigger things that we had in the works here. And this is, again, how can I not? Should be the question, investigate this. How can I not look into this? And just being around Little St. James Island, being in the neighboring islands there, everyone I almost talked to was like, hey, everyone knew about this. This wasn't really a big secret. Everyone was talking about the little girls that were being flown in there through the helicopters, the little girls that were being brought in there by the boats. Everyone knew, and I'm like, holy cow, we need to do something about this. So we spoke out to a lot of boat captains. We talked to one, and he said, there's no way I'm taking you guys there. There's no way I'm getting my boat seized. We talked to another one who said, you know, I'll take you around the island, and that's it. So we saw it as a recon mission, as a way to just kind of assess the situation. And then the boat captain surprised us, and he's like, 5 seconds. You either jump off or you stay on. And I'm like, holy cow. Jeff is still in his little, you could call it a mankini. He wasn't about to go. He had a wine glass and a cigarette in his hand, and I surely grabbed my shoes, and I'm like, Jeff, we're going. And he's like, it took him 3 seconds, but he's like, okay. And then we're on there, like, it was a spur of a moment situation. We weren't really prepared. We had these other plans, but I'm really happy we went forward with it, and we're very happy we're out of there without any significant problems so far.
Well, I'm glad Jeff took that moment to think, yeah, I'm going to join you, because it's a scary thing that you're embarking on. It would have been dangerous, really, to go in completely alone. So I'm glad you had someone there to help you out with that. Once you stepped foot on the island, what would you say was the general vibe, and what were some of the first things that you started seeing that were of interest to you?
I mean, first, I was just looking for signs of people there. I mean, there was a boat there. It looked like some of the lawn was being taken care of. And I'm like, okay, there's some people here, so we have to be a little bit extra careful. So we were in kind of recon mode. I was still in the mode of just trying to assess the situation, but we were thrown in there, and we were like, holy crap. Jeff forgot his shoes, so he's literally walking around like screaming in pain. I'm like, dude, why didn't you bring your shoes? I gave him my socks later on. There's all these conspiracy theories now about us. There's people commenting he had shoes. No, he had my socks afterwards. There's people commenting that there's people in the background of our interview. We didn't do the interview at Jeffrey Epstein Island. We did the interview at our hotel with the cleaning lady walking around there. But the first thing that we noticed, of course, there was a weird kind of energy, a weird kind of vibe. That could have been our adrenaline. That could have been the moment as well. But there was a lot of weird art. The place was very well taken care of. And of course, it was just very, very strange. I mean, it's not every day you go to the island that only billionaires and very powerful people are invited to commit the worst human acts that you could commit in this world. Mm-hmm. It's a weird place, very weird art, and a lot of things happening. And the island is huge. I mean, It took us a half an hour, and many times we were running through it, and we still didn't see about half of the island. We only saw one half of the island. This place was huge, and it's very, very big, and there's more things that I wish I had time to discover. But literally, Joby Weeks, who was also with us there, called me after I was able to somehow get signal, and he's like, dude, we heard screaming. There was, people on those little golf carts are running around everywhere. There's a lady that found the boat that was screaming at them to leave. And he's like, dude, you guys got to get out now. There were some other people there, Jeff's wife and other people that I didn't want implicated. So I'm like, okay, we got to get out of here. And that's when we decided to kind of get out of there. And Jeff, even before Jeff, yeah.
Well, you had already confirmed a few things. I mean, let's get back to some of the things you found. Some of the things that I found interesting that were still up for debate and up for question. People on the line, online internet sleuths who have been studying Rusty Shackelford's footage, the anonymous drone flyer who's been taking footage, have noticed things like there are what appears to be tunnel cave entrances. And I noticed you opened up these doors, went in, looked in, and saw that it was cemented in and closed little rooms, and was able to confirm that. And you found other things like the temple, which a lot of people were saying that door looks fake, man. To me, it looks like it's been painted on like some sort of Hollywood movie set. And you guys were able to confirm that. Tell us a little bit about the temple and what you thought about once you walked up to it.
Well, we really wanted to go in there, but that thing was barricaded down very significantly. Another thing that we found very strange was that there was a kind of doorway just on the ground that was also barricaded down, not that far away from, of course, the temple. And of course, I did my best to try to open up the barricades, open up the places being totally locked down, because there's so much construction material there. There's so many construction trucks. There's so much large infrastructure there that it really makes you wonder what else is there that we're not seeing. And a lot of the stuff was barricaded down. So it's also important to understand here that this was swept before the federal government came in there, and after the federal government, the place was even swept up even more. So this was more of a kind of recon mission to kind of assess a lot of the situation, and also make people forget that this story still exists. Make people remember that this story needs to be talked about in large significance, because it has many, many terrifying implications of some of the institutions that people trust the most. Again, our whole justice system was proved a farce by Jeffrey Epstein, and I could just keep going on and on. But again, the one thing I want to kind of lead back to is the barricaded door on the ground, the barricaded temple, the witnesses that I talked to. There was also a bucket that people said had holes in it that looked like bullet holes that I also found strange. They had a weird chair made of horns that we also documented in there. But everything was pretty much cleaned and cleared from anything that we could gather from the short amount of time that we were there. But this is mainly, yeah.
The doors were open in the offices, and you guys were able to get in and walk around in his offices. It was already being cleared out at that point, but still, doors were unlocked and opened. And I also thought it was very smart of you guys to go through some of the trash. There was like, briefcase folders that looked like it could be filled with files and things of that nature, garbage bags that might have had old receipts or paper trails of anything. You never know. You guys were there literally digging through the trash, trying to find.
Yeah. Well, Jeff was pretty slow, so I told Jeff to keep moving on and also separate in case he got caught or I got caught, because this is the time when we were seeing things kind of being very upkept there, and I'm like, oh, there's people here. And then when that happened, I was able to have more time because Jeff was very slow, walking with his bare feet, now with my socks, down the kind of rocks that were there. But I remember seeing the briefcase opening it up, nothing was there. There's a lot of cleaning supplies, a lot of construction material. So a lot of things went underway on that island. But this was a huge, huge island, a lot of infrastructure, and sadly, most of it that we still weren't able to uncover, that we weren't able to see. The original plan we had was to go back to the boat, drop off some of the footage, and then go back to the big house that it was very, very significant, that had a lot of different rooms that we really, really wanted to go into. But at that point, that's when I got the phone call from Joby. That's when I kind of went up to Jeff, and I'm like, Jeff, there's people on golf carts. They found the boat. They're screaming at the boat. They're calling the authorities. But before I even got to even say any of that, the first few sentences, Jeff heard it and then started booking it like a barefoot Forrest Gump. The video is hilarious. The way he took off was just surprising. I was trying to tell Jeff, let's go to stop walking in the middle of the beach since there's people looking for us, since there's security out there. Let's go into the bushes and take it slowly. And then I kind of had to move forward. And that's where I saw the private kind of massage area that a lot of people haven't seen. That was also kind of very eerily creepy, hidden through a lot of the brush by that weird kind of bird staging chair / kind of staircase that he also had there as well, which was kind of weird.
Palm trees brought in specifically to block the view from boats going by?
Well, yeah, there was a lot of different kind of things set up there to specifically also block the massage area. But through other reporting that I saw, he brought in $20,000 palm trees, major palm trees, to kind of make the area more secluded and provide more cover so people around that island going through the boat, since it is a busy kind of fairway, wouldn't be able to see what he was doing. But there's a lot of hidden places that we still weren't able to fully kind of uncover. Like the massage room, I couldn't really even go in there because at that time I had Joby and the rest of the people that were there screaming, "Luke, get out, they're calling the cops, they're taking photos of us." And the boat captain was also screaming at us because he probably wasn't expecting us to stay there for over half an hour, but we were there for half an hour, and he gave us that window. He's like, 5 seconds, you're on or off, and we took it. And I wish I would have taken more of it, but again, a lot of this was impromptu. I wish I could go back and do a lot of things differently. I wish I could have had more of a plan. We had all these different plans. All of them fell through until this boat captain kind of surprised us, and we decided to take full advantage of it, and we did. And this story cannot be forgotten.
Absolutely. And hindsight's always 20/20. You always look back thinking I probably could have done things better, but you guys had an opportunity. You jumped on it. You made the best you could of it. And like you said, these guys running around in their golf carts and stuff, for all you don't know who they are. They could be DEA, they could be FBI, CIA, they could be they could be dark operative agents who are about to take you out. You have no idea. So you're essentially risking your life to bring people this information. So maybe we could close with just the reason why you would think it's important enough for this story, Jeffrey Epstein case, to risk yourself enough to go to that island. I mean, it's obviously huge implications here, behind this. He's just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit more of why you thought it was important to take this risk to expose Jeffrey Epstein.
The mainstream media chooses what we focus on, and a lot of times they choose absolute garbage, absolute trash that is just a distraction from the bigger truths of this world. The Jeffrey Epstein story highlights a very important truth of this world, and that not only are very powerful people are above the law in this world, but they're some of the most evil, corrupt, horrible people that you can't even imagine or fathom the acts that they are capable of. And these are the people that a lot of people willingly give their power to, willingly trust, willingly just say, yes, I'll give my power to them. And this needs to stop. This needs to stop, and it stops with us realizing the greater truths of this world. And this is why I took the risk that I did. This is why we do what we do here at We Are Change. This is not the first time we put our buttocks on the line to expose a different perspective, a story that you wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't for independent media doing so. So this is important. The only way to beat the mainstream media is to do their job better. For 2 years, they were obsessing about Russian collusion that never existed. They slandered us for not even believing it early on. The Epstein story? There's so many things you could run off of. There's so many witnesses. There's so many victims. There's so many things that you could speculate about this story. Just totally gone out of the news cycle? No way. So many larger implications, so many powerful people connected to him. This needs to be a story that everyone shares, that everyone discusses, that no one forgets about, because the establishment wants you to forget it. And the only way they won't is with you taking individual action to make sure that does not happen. You are far more powerful than you understand. And this is why I do what I do. I have complete optimistic blind faith in you, the individual, doing the right thing. Because again, Dan, you wouldn't exist, I wouldn't exist if it wasn't for people donating to us, supporting us, sharing this video. Our videos are being down throttled. I'm losing 1,000 subscribers a day. I had people who worked with me on this YouTube channel saying that they were unsubscribed. I mean, the amount of pressure that we're going through in this bigger kind of fight is really, really just incredible. But I still do it because I still believe in you, the individual. So I want to thank all those people who do share, who do click, who do donate, and who are a part of this, because you are a bigger part of this than you know.
Yeah, well said, Luke. And they are trying to shadow ban us now because of the information that we're bringing to the table. Like you said, doing the job that the mainstream media is failing to do. So I want to thank you for taking the initiative and having the courage to actually go there, boots on the ground, do the investigative reporting that others aren't willing to do. We're going to have links to the video located in the description below. Guys, make sure you check it out. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Help them out. As you said, our channels are under attack right now, so you can help us simply by sharing the videos, clicking the thumbs up button, and of course, going to our websites to where you can contribute by donating or joining as a member. Once again, Luke Rudkowski and Jeff Berwick as well was there with you. He did a great job too, so I want to thank him. Great job once again, and I guess we'll see you sometime soon, definitely at Anarchapulco. I'll see you guys, you and Jeff, but I'll probably see you before then.
I'll be around. You know me. There'll be some crazy, ridiculous thing to do, and we'll be there. Just like me, you, and Jeff, Storm Bilderberg. There's a lot of things that need uncovering, and the only way to really get it is with independent media. So thanks for doing the work that you do, and stay tuned for more lunacy and crazy stuff from us here on the ground.
Probably without shoes on again.
Yeah.
All right.
You as well, Dan.
All right, peace. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.